Today, every day, small cap investors visit Agoracom knowing this is the day to discover the world's next great company, to have their dreams come true. That's why I take to the open road, to find them, to tell their stories, to engage them, to bring them to life, because they want to connect with you from your office, your phone, your home, anywhere. Agoracom, find your dream. Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives right after they put out important news. With us today, for the first time ever, Scott Burton, CEO of FansUnite Entertainment, trades on the CSC under the stock symbol FANS, great symbol, and for our friends in the US under FUNFF. For those of you new to the story, that's going to be a lot of you. Look, the global online gambling market is potentially going to reach $1 trillion by the end of this decade. That's massive. But until recently, small cap investors just didn't have a company or a vehicle to provide them ground floor exposure to this massive market and its growth over the next 2 years, because it's been dominated by the big traditional gambling companies who are moving online, but they're focused on good old-fashioned gambling. That all changes with FansUnite. We're calling them the small cap iGaming super company, and they go well beyond gambling and attack both sides of the market on both B2C, B2B. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. More than just lip service. It's not just big talk. The formation of this super iGaming company became a reality when FansUnite acquired Ascot Entertainment. Some of the highlights there: it's a $27 million acquisition, $350 million in total bets in the combined company, over 300,000 registered users, $5 million in financing. So the bottom line, as you understand it, they've got the goods. And today's press release was FansUnite launches U.S. expansion. Scott, welcome to the show.
Thanks, George. Happy to be here.
Hey, we're happy to have you. This is, before we even dive into the, into the mechanics of the press release itself, this is a huge development. It's not easy, and you've done it lightning fast. For everybody at home, layman's terms, how big is it to be able to get to the U.S. market already relative to other smaller companies who would be a dream to do?
Yeah, no, it's massive for a company like ours. I think for the size of our company and the stage, I don't think you'll see many that are going to get to take advantage of the opportunity the way we are now with these partnerships. We've sat back and looked at the U.S. for quite some time. And as a small company, the way the U.S. is set up, it's really not designed for a small online gambling operator to go in. That's why you see some massive names, the FanDuels, the DraftKings, the MGMs. So we had one approach, which is a software side, which allows us to go in as a smaller cap company. But really, we needed to figure out how are we going to navigate state-by-state regulations on the licensing side, when that, again, plays well to deep pockets and heavy legal costs and regulatory burden. So this announcement for us and partnering with Gameco, and not just Gameco, but 10Star and Grid, all as one group to go in and tackle that market together. For us to be aligned with those companies and now have this U.S. access at this stage, like I said before, and something, it probably moves us ahead 12 months from where we thought we would be in terms of even thinking about the U.S.
12 months and millions of dollars if you have to do it organically, correct? That's how important this strategically this is to FansUnite, right?
Yeah. So, you can look at a single state license could be in the millions just to get that. So the fact that we've got a partner that gives us some regulatory coverage and allows us to put our software in, takes all that away from us. So each piece of this group, it brings, a crucial component that to try and pull together as one company. You're exactly right. It's going to cost millions and millions to do all this. And then the time involved, is many months.
Massive. So let's go into the details a little bit. Gameco, They've got gaming licenses in pretty much 30 jurisdictions, including Jersey and Nevada, right? Who are they? What are the specific opportunities that are going to arise out of this?
Yeah, so Gameco is founded by a guy called Blaine Grabois. He came out with a kind of an idea around the same time as we did when we started looking to esports space in 2014 and just thinking about the size of market, the potential demographic, and the aging out of traditional casino goers. Blaine had the same concept around the brick and mortar casinos and the cabinet games. So really wanted to put something in casinos that would draw in a younger demographic, the millennials, and give them cabinet games that were video game based, skill based games, much more interactive than pushing a
sit around a table counting cards or whatever. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. And with the video game background he had and his team, they're perfect to do that. And they've done really well. So they have some major backers in the casino space, already some major partners, and then the licensing infrastructure. So really what they were looking to do is to build off of all of that work. So everything we want to do, we want to leverage our technology that we've spent years building. They want to do the same. They want to leverage their footprint in the US. They want to leverage their relationships, and they want to move online. So if you look at MGM, I think they came out and said that the online gambling space is the biggest opportunity right now going. So moving online in the US is a massive, massive opportunity. 20 billion plus in the coming years. So Gameco wanted to accelerate themselves into the online space, still appealing to the younger demographic that are video gamers, esports fans, because that's where the future is in gambling. That's the future of casino. If they're going to have people coming in the door, it's going to be these people who are 18 to 30-year-olds now. And so we had the software side of that done, and we've already passed multiple licensing jurisdictions around the world. And so what it does for us is it allows us to then go in as a partner with Gameco, who covers us on the licensing front, and then also has the relationships that would take us, again, years to build out in the US. So up until now, since 2013, when we really started, and then 2014, when we pushed esports, we've been focused outside of North America. We're a Vancouver-based company, but really the gambling opportunity online has not been the US. That has changed, and that's a massive shift, the biggest shift in the space in the last number of decades. So with this ability now to partner with Gameco, we have the license coverage. It takes a ton of that burden off of our company. They can now go to the partners they already have, and they already have an interest in this demographic and this style of game, and then launch our platform into those partners and new partners. So the immediate opportunity is for us to go into existing sports books online and give them an esports product. It's top to bottom, probably the best one out there. And really it gives the opportunity for the people that we're going to partner with a way to, I would say, authentically get an esports product that appeals to the demographic at a pretty low entry and friction point for them. So we've got a full turnkey solution. We can integrate with their existing infrastructure and architecture. So we'll work with their existing wallets. We'll work with their existing player account management systems, their bonusing reward systems like MGM rewards, whatever they might have. Mm-hmm. We can just seamlessly integrate there, and now they can give out an esports product. And then there's two other partners involved that are key to this. I don't know if you want me to mention those now.
Sure. Hey, look, this is big. Of course we want.
Yeah. So again, they're two really, really big names in the space, and one of them is Grid Esports, founded by a friend of ours, Moritz, who's a pioneer in esports betting. So he put out the first ever UK licensed esports betting site years ago. Went on to be head of esports data for BetGenius, which is a big data provider, and then left to launch Grid Esports. So what Moritz is doing is he has the relationships with all of the game publishers. These are video games, so the professional video game leagues that cover esports. So he's got the relationships with the publishers. He's got the relationships with the tournaments and leagues. So he's acquiring data rights. So it's as if you go to the NBA and get the exclusive data rights for NBA in terms of betting. If that makes sense. So you could be Sport Radar and do a deal with the ATP, the tennis tour. So what Grid is doing is getting those exclusive rights for the esports events. So we're getting the real-time streams, the real-time data, the accurate information, and then we're feeding that into the next partner in the group of 4, which is 10star, which is some of the best traders, risk managers in the industry. And so what they then do is they're taking the real-time data, they're taking the information from the tournaments, leagues, and events, and creating the odds and the risk management. That's a huge part of operating a profitable sportsbook. You can offer esports betting, but to do it profitably right now is still can still be a challenge for people because it is still a new space. So 10star is, I would say, at the top of that game. So then that 10star data feeds back into our Chameleon gaming platform, and that's the full turnkey solution. So what partners are going to see is the Chameleon platform that we have. So the interface, all of the mechanics behind it is ours. It's feeding in the 10star risk trading odds management, plus some of our own products on top of that. And then 10star is taking the exclusive data feeds from the tournaments direct from Grid. We combine together, and we've got the best.
You've got a solution,
iGaming solution right now out there.
Right, and that's the part. There are 2 parts out there, to summarize that are really powerful. One, this is a 4-company, operation here, right? This is a great partnership. But what I really love about it, as an observer and as a shareholder, is that Gameco already has the customers. It's not as if you guys have formed a group and said, okay, it's George and Scott and a couple of guys are going to go after the U.S. market, but we got to grind, we got to knock on doors going to slam in our faces. Gameco's already got those partners. Those partners needed your esports package, right? And you needed Gameco's licenses at the end of the day. So would it be a stretch to say, Scott, that we should be expecting to see, and I'm not asking you to project, but this is, I'm trying to figure out if I'm drawing a reasonable inference. Would it be reasonable to say that we should expect to see, actual customer deals and, those kind of actual revenue generating partnerships starting to be generated, throughout 2020?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, that's the whole intention, and I think for each one of those groups is speed to market and first mover and all of those things are always an advantage. And when we looked around at each other and just, I think, saw the acceleration we could get by doing that, we've now got something ready to go. And I would expect that, the next time we're coming on here is one of those times is going to be to talk about our first installation, then our next one, and a few, hopefully.
Let's look at online gambling, and I want to play devil's advocate here too, because everyone knows when we do these interviews, they're not softballs, right? The online gambling market is massive and it's going to grow exponentially, but it does have big established players as competition. And you've kind of hinted at it here, how are you guys going to carve out your piece of the pie as this pie just keeps on expanding throughout this decade?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I think one thing, I would say around that is coming at it from the side we have, which is the software side, the business-to-business angle. We do have the ability to generate direct-to-consumer sites and revenue, which we do now. But it gives us a big advantage to go in and take a piece of this market, because a lot of the names you hear and see are not technology companies. They are brands, or they're casino brands, especially if we're thinking specifically to the US. So they don't have the technology, and we do. And there's not many that I think are going to be end-to-end at the size and scale and the speed we're going to be able to do it at. So there's our entry point into the market is through that software angle. Again, if you go into specifically on the esports side, that gives us basically an opening conversation with any group in the world, no matter how big they are. They're all trying to figure out their esports product, and they know that we've been at it since 2014. First ever direct-to-consumer esports betting company licensed in the Isle of Man, the first ever dedicated esports daily fantasy site, just nominated against some of the biggest names in terms of, or for being a esports software provider. So we're already being recognized there. So one, that opens the door for any of those conversations to get in and take advantage of the growth. And really what you are also have seen now would be the example of a lot of these just being the brands and going after customer acquisition, but not owning technology, is the DraftKings SB Tech deal, which made huge news in the US. It's the big SPAC deal that they did where they acquired SB Tech into the Diamond Eagle SPAC. That went from, I think, being, say, a $3 billion valued deal to now I think they're $12.9 billion. And really what they identified there was technology was a huge missing piece of the value of that business, because they were using Candy, and I think they still are now until the full switch over to SB Tech. But they recognized that by not owning tech, you're giving away, in their case, probably hundreds of millions of dollars over a lifetime or that deal. By not owning the technology. So our ability to participate now is the fact that we've got an infrastructure that allows us to go into the licensed areas around the globe. When you look at, we have physical servers in multiple countries around the globe. We've got licenses coming in many jurisdictions. Now, the missing piece really was how do we get in the US? So, if you look at our company in terms of global coverage, we're there. And then on the business to business side, the beauty for us is the upside potential is massive.
There are two sides to almost every software. There's B2C. So in the gambling, in the iGaming space, B2C is, you go to George's Casino. I own an online casino called georgescasino.com. You come to my site, you pay some money, you deposit some money, and you play games. And that's a B2C business, right? That's me going to the consumer to play. FansUnite also has a B2B side, which is they're supplying georgesonlinecasino.com with. So let's talk about how big an advantage it is for you to have, because everyone understands B2C for the most part, they get it, right? But let's explain that you also have a B2B side. So you're covering both sides, what that means, how important that is.
Yeah, so what it means is we provide those George's Casino brands with their software and in some cases their gambling license. So looking at rest of world again, we have the ability to do a full white label agreement with somebody where they might have a big user base or a good brand, but not be in the online betting space. And want to be, but not want to go through the many hassles and hurdles of getting an online gaming license in multiple jurisdictions.
Right.
So they can come to us and we can give them a full suite. So we can give them a gaming license. So we can sub-license gaming licenses from some of the jurisdictions. And then what we also offer is the full infrastructure you need to run a gaming platform, especially in a tier 1 licensed jurisdiction where you're going to go through technical audits, you're going to go through security audits. So we will then give you your payment system, so the ability for players to deposit money, withdraw money in many different whether it's fiat, whether it's crypto, whether it's using a wallet, whether it's using a credit card. We can build that in, or we have that. We have the banking situation set up. So in every jurisdiction we're in, or every country, we'll have multiple banking arrangements. We manage player protected funds. So we ring fence player funds so they can't be touched and they're always there. We do the age, identity, location verification. So we can tell if they're in a country or jurisdiction where we're allowed to take bets from. We can verify identification, address, all of those things. And then we give you the mechanics in the front end that you would see. So whether it's designed as one of our off-the-shelf designs or we do some customization, you can have your own site. So really all you do in that
turnkey, right? It's turnkey at the end of the day. So me as the proprietor of Agoracom, I've got a massive audience on Agoracom. And I'm looking for more ways to monetize it. Technically, I could come to you guys, say, hey, Scott, I want to set up Agoracom Casino. Because investors on the Agoracom site during the day and they're researching stocks, but at night, Friday, Saturday night, I want to give them something fun to do, but I don't want to go through licensing, building software, none of that. I just come to you guys and I don't know, 30 days, 6 days, 90 days, you've set me up with the turnkey Agoracom Casino, away I go.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That's power.
Yeah, and then the other people we work with is the guys who have all that licensing infrastructure, but primarily we look at the esports angle. So they have a great sports book, they have a great casino, but they have a terrible esports offering. So we can just slide right in, and instead of us giving you all that stuff, we can work with their existing wallets, their existing player management systems, all of that. So there's the two sides there just on the B2B. Nice. But the beauty of it for us is the guaranteed monthly recurring revenue. That's something that covers, the fixed costs of running the business, and it's highly scalable. So adding dozens or hundreds of sites to our existing infrastructure is a realistic possibility. We don't need to invest much more in the infrastructure in terms of now scaling up what we have and bringing on B2B providers. So we get a monthly recurring revenue. So every month we'll get a fee, but then we participate in the upside. So this is where it really, really scales up.
Right, risk-free.
Yeah, and so if we have a partner who's like hits a home run with their site and has millions of users, as their revenue goes up, our share, we get a percentage share as well. So we go up with them. So it's a great partnership. They are typically longer term deals, and the switching costs are high. So, you know, once you're embedded with an infrastructure, you've got all those back end things in there. It's not, you know, it's not that easy to switch out, especially if you're going to have to go get your own licensing and everything. So it can be fairly sticky, long-term deals, monthly recurring revenue with upside potential.
So Scott, you could turn anybody, look, everybody who's online has a massive audience. I don't care if it's a social media site. I don't care if it's a fashion site, a sports site, a food site. As long as it's got a massive audience, technically, you could help any site, any platform at the end of the day further monetize by helping them just create their own casino at the end of the day. So is it fair to say the possibilities are almost endless, or do you think that's too much of a stretch where you may not get Twitter wanting to start their own casino? Is that too much of a stretch?
Yeah, I think there's some stretching in some of those, but it opens it up to a much bigger sort of opportunity when you say, look at, you know, one of the groups that we signed a contract with has a few million fans and followers from just being in the gaming space for many, many years. They've built that up organically over time. They've now got a great reputation, and then they looked at it and said, how do we monetize these users, especially since you know, that demographic, if your model before was ad revenue and banner ads, this next generation doesn't see banner ads. So you need to figure out how you monetize those eyeballs. And that's really what we really liked about the way esports is taken off, the way gaming's taking off, and the fan engagement that it brings. So, but you are right, we can take people like that, give them a site, and really the coming together of Ascot and FansUnite was, you know, we didn't have every piece of the puzzle, and neither did FansUnite until we came together. So FansUnite was before the merge of Ascot, which was the company I started, was focused on the traditional sports world and looking at the same things we were looking at, but from a different side. So they were looking at, how do we bring esports in? We know that we need it, and we know that it's a huge driver of growth and the future of sports books. And we were saying, you know, we've got this amazing, we think, esports platform that can acquire these users and bring them in, but what if they want to bet on soccer? What if they want to bet on basketball? Nobody wants to do all the work of acquiring a user and then have them leave to go place a bet on somebody else's site. And that's when we also are bringing in our own casino style games. So we just did a deal with the EAR platform, which now will open up 6,000 casino games to anybody using our Chameleon gaming platform. So now we have sort of every possible revenue angle covered from a true iGaming platform. And that was where this merge between FansUnite and Ascot really was, I mean, it was synergistic, it was transformational, and it gave us the full suite, and then we're just adding pieces. So the next piece was, okay, we've got the sports, we've got casino, we've got our own games, we've got esports, we've got licenses. Now what are we going to do about the US? And so we just knocked that one off our list, and then we've got another one coming.
Unbelievable. Scott, I got to tell you, we could sit here for another half hour and talk about FansUnite and what you guys have done. I'm going to leave it there because that's an amazing amount of information. And usually I ask, hey, what should we be looking forward to? But we've pretty much covered that already as we're going through this, because it sounds like what you said, I've got to run my tape recorder back, but you basically said, hey, next time we're on here, we're probably going to be talking about new customer acquisitions and new partners that we're signing on. So we're really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, thanks a lot for this amazing interview. Congratulations on this, essentially merger that you guys and what you guys have created. Can't wait to see. Look, everyone at Agoracom knows, everyone that watching me knows, I'm all about this decade is going to be the amount of wealth created by disruptive technology companies. And FansUnite is a disruptive technology company that is set to go. And if I had to have a bunch of check boxes, they got them all checked off, right? Still got to execute. We know that, but executing from way higher than georgescasino.com.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's why I'm not making money at georgescasino.com. So maybe I'll have to come to you and get a white label, eh, Scott?
Yeah, we can set a call up after this.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, Thank you so much. Looking forward to having you back. For everyone at home, you've been watching, or if you're in my podcast, listen to Scott Burton. He's CEO of FansUnite Entertainment. Trades on the CSC under Fans. Doesn't get any easier than that. And for friends in the UF, FUNFF, FUNFF is the stock symbol. Pause Netflix, stop the social media scrolling, start doing your due diligence. We know that there's a lot of information for you to absorb. We got it covered. Get to Agoracom, get to the FansUnite profile page, and we've got this all really nicely laid out for you, so you don't have to remember everything here. But take a close look, do your research, stick with the FansUnite hub on Agoracom so you can keep getting updates automatically sent to you, and have a fantastic day. And for everybody celebrating this weekend in North America, have a great, safe Labor Day long weekend.